In this video, I will show you how to perform basic operations of polynomials. Let's start with addition. When you're adding, the parentheses do not matter. So this is really just 3x plus 2 plus 5x minus 7. The parentheses are doing nothing. So all I'm doing is combining like terms in this case. So I've got my 3x and my 5x, and then I've got my 2 and my negative 7. So that's going to give me 8x minus 5, and that's it. Okay, on the other hand, when you're subtracting, the parentheses do matter because this negative sign needs to be distributed. Think of it as having a negative 1 right here. And so the distributive property needs to happen. Now, the first set of parentheses, there is no negative sign in front of this. So there's nothing to distribute. So this 3x plus 2 is just going to come down unchanged. But negative 1 times 5x is negative 5x. And negative 1 times negative 7 is positive 7. So don't forget to distribute the minus sign. After that, we're back to combining like terms. So putting the 3x and the negative 5x together, and putting the 2 and the 7 together. So that's going to give me negative 2x plus 9 for the final answer. Okay, number one, part C, is multiplication. I think I'll zoom in. Some teachers refer to this as the FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last. But I prefer to think of it as doing the distributive property twice. So for my first step, I ignore the 2. I'm distributing the 3x. All right, so basically just pretend the 2 is not there. So 3x times 5x is going to give me 15x squared. And then 3x times negative 7 will be negative 7x. Sorry. That's not even close. 3x times negative 7 is going to be negative 21x. Okay, so I did the first distributive property. Okay, now I'm going to distribute the 2. So now I'm really ignoring the 3x. So that would be 2 times 5x is going to be 10x. And then 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. So at this point, you might notice that we have some like terms right here that need to be put together. So I'm just going to bring down the 15x squared. But when I put these two together, that's going to be negative 11x. And then I'll just bring down the minus 14. So this will be the final answer. So problem number 2 is a subtraction problem. There's nothing in front of the first set of parentheses, so I can just bring that down unchanged. However, the next set of parentheses has this minus sign. Think of it as a negative 1, and I have to distribute the negative 1. So negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Now I'm looking around for any like terms. The only like terms are negative 3 and negative 2. So if I put those together, I'm going to have x squared. Let's say I just brought that down. I'm bringing down by negative 2x. But negative 3 and negative 2 make negative 5. So this would be the final answer. Number 3 is a multiplication problem. So this is where we do the distributive property twice. So right now I'm ignoring the negative 3. So x times 2x, that's going to be 2x squared. X times 2 is going to be 2x. All right, next I'm going to distribute negative 3. All right, include the negative sign. So negative 3 times 2x is going to be negative 6x. Negative 3 times 2 is going to be negative 6. All right, then you notice that we have like terms right here. So you bring down your 2x squared, but you combine these, and that gives you negative 4x. And then you bring down the negative 6 for the final answer. Okay, number 4 is an addition problem. And in an addition problem, the parentheses do not matter. So I go straight to like terms. So these are like terms. I'm just going to put those together. Let's see, negative x and positive 4x, those are like terms. And I've got 1 and negative 4, those are like terms. So x squared and 3x, you can think of this as like 1x squared. So that's going to make 4x squared. Negative x and 4x, think of this as negative 1. So that's going to make plus 3x. And then 1 and negative 4 make negative 3. So this is the final answer. Be careful on your subtraction problems. Don't forget to treat this negative sign like a negative 1, which will need to be distributed. So negative 1 times 4x is, times 4x squared is negative 4x squared. Negative 1 times 4x is positive 4x. And then negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. Okay, there's nothing in front of this set of parentheses, so I can just bring down the negative x plus 1. At this point, I'm looking for like terms. Negative x and positive 4x are like terms. 1 and 2 are like terms. So I noticed that the negative 4x squared doesn't have a like term, so I'm just going to bring that down. And so negative x and 4x, think of this as negative 1. That's going to make plus 3x. And then 1 and 2, of course, make 3. The order matters because we're supposed to put this in standard form. So I'm going out of my way to make sure that the x squared is first, and then the x term, and then the constant is always last. Now, number 6 is another multiplication problem. There's no symbol in between, so that's how I know it's multiplication. I prefer to have the shorter polynomial first. So I'm going to rewrite this so that the binomial comes before the trinomial. So this would be the same thing as 2x squared minus 2 times negative 3x squared plus 5x minus 6. All right, I just switched them around. That didn't change anything. So now we have to do the distributive property twice. So first, I'm going to distribute the 2x squared. So that's going to give me, so 2x squared times negative 3x squared, that's going to be negative 6 x to the 4th power. So yeah, x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Okay, 2x squared times 5x is going to be 10x to the 3rd power. And then 2x squared times negative 6 is going to make negative 12x squared. Okay, so now I need to distribute the negative 2. Okay, negative 2 times negative 3x is positive 6x squared. So that's going to be positive 6x squared. Negative 2 times 5 is times 5x is negative 10x. And then negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. Okay, notice that we do have a pair of like terms right here. These will need to be combined. So I'm going to just bring down the negative 6x to the 4th power, and I'm going to bring down the 10x to the 3rd power. If I put these together, that's going to give me negative 6x squared. And then I'll bring down the negative 10x and the positive 12. All right, so this will be the long final answer. All right, here's another multiplication problem. So again, we're going to do the distributive property twice. This one is shorter. So x times 2x is going to be 2x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Okay, now we will distribute the negative 3. This includes the negative sign. So negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Okay, like terms are right here. So you bring down your 2x squared, combine your like terms, that's negative 10x, and then bring down the 12. So here's the final answer for number 7. For number 8, we're asked to find the perimeter of this rectangle. Just an expression for it. This will not be a numerical answer. Of course, for the perimeter, we just add up all of the sides. So we know that this side up here is going to be 3x plus 2, all right, because these should be the same. And we know that this side over here should be x minus 1. So if we want to add up all the sides, that means we are really doing 3x plus 2 plus 3x plus 2 plus x minus 1 plus x minus 1. Okay? Adding up all the sides. So it's just a matter of combining like terms. So 3x plus 3x, that's 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 x's. And then 2 plus 2 is 4. And then minus 2 is 2. So this will be 8x plus 2 after you combine all the like terms. So this would be an expression for the perimeter. Okay, now we need an expression for the area for problem number 9. So, of course, the area of rectangle is the base times the height. So that's why we're going to be doing 3x plus 2 times x minus 1, all right, base times height. So we've seen this in previous problems, so we know that we have to do the distributive property twice. So this is going to be, whoops. So I'm going to start by distributing the 3x. All right, so 3x times x, that's going to be 3x squared. And then 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x. All right, next we distribute the 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So you see we've got some like terms here in the middle. Those need to be combined. So bring down the 3x squared. Together these make negative x. And then bring down the minus 2. And this is the final answer. Problem number 10 speaks of a square that is not shown. They give us an expression for the side length, 4x cubed plus 5. And we're supposed to find an expression for the perimeter of the square. So, of course, a square has all 4 sides that are the same. So that means we're going to have 4x cubed plus 5 all around this thing. Okay, so for the perimeter, we have to add all this up. There's no point in me writing this all out in a line. You know that we're going to have to combine like terms. So let's just start adding them up. So 4 times 4 is 16. So that tells me I'm going to have 16 x to the 3rd power. Okay, I just combined all of the 4x cubes just then. Then I have 4 5s. 4 times 5 is 20. So that's going to be 20. So this will be an expression for the perimeter. Okay, same dimensions, but this time we're talking about the area. So of course when you're doing the area, That's base times height for a square. So now we're multiplying these. So that means the idea would be to do 4x cubed plus 5 times 4x cubed plus 5. So when you multiply, we have to do the distributive property twice. So I'm going to start by distributing the 4x cubed. Let's see, 4 times 4 is 16. X cubed times x cubed is x to the 6th power. Notice it's not x to the 9th power, you just add these up. And then 4x cubed times 5 is going to be 20x cubed. So now I switch it up and distribute the 5. Okay, so 5 times 4x cubed is going to be 20x cubed. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so all I have to do is combine these like terms and bring down the rest. So I'll bring down the 16x to the 6th power. 20 plus 20 is 40, so this is going to be 40x cubed. And then I'm just going to bring down the 25 for the final answer. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.